somebody that's worked as hard as he has his whole life, if they ever quit, they die right then. And you think about it, at 79, there's not many people can keep up with him now, and there's no 79-year-olds can keep up with him that I know of. So, yeah, if he were to ever retire, I think that would probably do him in.
He'll die here or close, one of the two. He won't ever retire. He can't. And that's good for him. Sometimes he tries to do too much, but he's, all in all, he's doing good.
Well, I started in the car business in 1967, but I had been in construction since I'd finished high school and moving around all over the country, and got kind of tired of that. And I got married, and driving 75, 80 miles one way a lot of time, getting up 4 o'clock in the morning got old, and I'd always enjoyed fooling with cars, and had a buddy named Red Trussell. He used to have a little used car lot, and in the wintertime I'd piddle around with him some, going to auctions. And so William Abel's a friend of mine, he was the general manager at Allen Chevrolet, and Cliff Colbert bought Allen out about October, I think, of '67, and William jumped me about going to work for him, selling cars. And I thought about it and decided I'd try it that winter, and figured I could always go back to construction the next spring if it didn't work out. But it worked out pretty good. I've been doing it ever since November 1967, and guess I'll do it till I die.
Through the soft light of late afternoon, a bright new shape bursts elegantly from the shadows. Caprice for 1967. The Grand Chevrolet.
I started the 20th of November and made a little, and then December I made more than I'd been making in construction work, and I knew that was going to be all right for me. I thought I'd found my ship come in. I felt like that was where I needed to be, and it was a few lean months and years, but overall it worked out real good. When I was at Cliff Colbert, I was always a top salesman, and wasn't that I was a better salesman than anybody else, but I just worked harder and put in more time, and that's what it's all about. Anybody can, the old saying goes, the harder you work, the luckier you get, and Ann would be working in the beauty shop 9 or 10 o'clock at night on Thursday night and Friday night, and I'd be up to the dealership calling people, and rather than going home and watching television, I'd go up, work till she got off, and then go home. Sometimes I'd go home and cook them a pan of cornbread, and then have cornbread and buttermilk, and then go back to work. But it's strictly working, hard work, and just taking care of the customer. I guess you could say Cliff and Archie were both mentors. We were we were friends as well as boss and employee. Of course, Archie's still living, and we're good friends to this day and talk pretty regular. But Cliff was always too good for his own good. And Donald was that way too. Donald would give you a shirt off his back, but somewhere down the line you gotta make money to grow and stay in business. So it's all part of it. If you don't make money, you can't stay there. Started in November '67 and left in June of '73, so wasn't quite 6 years. The guys at the Ford dealership had been trying to get me to come run it for him, and I didn't want to do that, but then some things happened at Cliff's that Donald and I got a little perturbed at some of the things that was going on, so we quit and went down there on the 26th of June and talked to the guys at the Ford place and made a deal to buy them out and took over the 5th day of July of '73. And been rocking and rolling ever since. We've got 8 locations now, 8 footprints, I guess you'd call it. We've got 6 new car dealerships, 12 franchises, I think, and then a couple of used truck dealerships, and the used totes and note lot, we call it. So we're spread out pretty good. One of the largest employers in town. Several of the factories don't work as many people as we do. Right now we got about 220 people on the payroll, and we've got some that's been there 40 years. I guess Cleo's, he was a wash rack boy and cleanup detail man, but he'd been around longer than anybody. He was there when we bought the place in '73.
Cleo's mission statement is he's on the B team. He tells every employee, I'm on the B team. He said, I'll be here when you gone.
David Fine started in '74. I think he and Jimmy Pate started about the same time. He started out PDI in cars. He came from Holmes Community College. He went to tech school down there and started out what we call pre-delivering cars, and then he went on into mechanicing, and now he's been service manager for 30 years, I guess. Only job he's ever had.
I started out in the shop as a tech, doing pre-delivery inspections, things like that, and that was back in '74, and that was at the old place.
Jimmy Pate, parts manager's been here since the '70s, and the next would be James Henry. He's been here since I think '79, so we've got 4, long-time employees.
I've been here at Kirk Auto Company for right at 40 years, December of 1975. I worked almost a year down on the corner of 51 and Cherry Street at the old original Ford place. My job title was kind of like cleaning up and watching the shop during lunch hour, because it had a lot of pass-through traffic. You know what I mean.
We've got Roger Long, and he's been here a long time. I think he came in like '79, so Birdsong. Several been here a long time. Then you come on up in the '80s, and you got Charles Pyron and Steve Woods, and we've got some long time loyal employees.
Cannon, most of his time is spent at the Ford place or on the ranch one, and going to auctions, and he feels the need for the used trucks. He goes to Texas and buys these used trucks to put on that truck lot. Scott spends most of his time at the GM dealerships, and he does kind of looks after the one in Greenwood too. Jason Neal, my nephew, runs the Chrysler place. I got a guy named Kevin Evans, runs the Ford place in Greenwood. Of course, Cannon came in the business when he was about 2 to 3 years old. He started every day, he'd come to work with me and sit up in the tower. So there was never any doubt in his mind what he wanted to do. He wanted to be in the car business. And by the time he was 12, 13 years old, he knew what was on the lot and what was missing, and he just loved it. He always has. Scott's done a good job after he got settled down. He likes it better than he did at the beginning. I think in the beginning it was just a job, but now he's into it a lot differently. When Cannon came on board, we were selling about 50 cars a month at the Ford place, and at that time that was the only one we had going. And then it gradually grew, and now we're averaging about 400 a month. If I hadn't come along and got into business, I'd have probably sold out and went back into construction work or something to keep me occupied rather than fighting the battle every day. I pretty much go and come as I please, but I'm involved in the dealerships every day. I don't get paid for it, but I'm there, so in and out.
You don't take a salary?
$800 a month.
In 2010, Scott and I bought Daddy out of everything.
So does that mean he's your employee now?
Yeah, he's fired. He's our employee now. He is good. He's a good paper man. He's good with the books, and we throw all the problems to him. He has some of them he makes worse, some of them he handles, but that's the way it goes.
I listen to all the employees' problems and customer problems too, and I'm usually in on all the hiring and firing. That is the dumbest. Y'all can do some of the dumbest damn stuff over there I have ever heard in my life, and it's getting worse. It ain't getting better. It's getting worse. If it's a problem, it usually winds up in my lap, but they say, see Daddy. So at the end of the 10th of the month, when everybody gets the monthly financial statements full, I take all the statements and analyze them and see what the problems are and try to decipher all the mistakes and get them straightened out before they go to the factory. Please provide profit and loss P&L statements for December 2007, where you said you've got that. Over the years, it's always been ups and downs. Usually about every 5, 6, 7 years, you'll have a downturn, but the toughest time was in 79, 80, and 81, 82, when interest rates went 22%. We couldn't sell enough cars to pay the interest on what we had on the lot, but we lost, I think it was 2,300 Ford dealers during that period, and several thousand total. It just really put a lot of car dealers out of business. The only way we were able to survive is we cut our inventories down to nothing and just worked hard in the shop and tried to keep the service department going and just watching expenses. Cut the people down to bare minimum. We started out with 13 people, I think, when we first went in business, and got it built up pretty good, and then back down to that again when things got tough. So it was a struggle with that high interest just like killed everybody.
Was there ever a time where you were worried that you may not make it?
Every day. Every day. With computers now, the internet has changed things around. People now check the internet, just about every one of them, and I never thought that would happen in rural Mississippi. But everybody goes on the internet now and looking for different deals and seeing what product they really want to look at, and they got what they call TrueCar now, and they try to set the price for everybody, and it's just a different ball game. And if you don't stay up with it, you lose the game. Yeah, we've got about 10 people in the internet department, and they follow up, and when we get somebody gets on our website and calls in, well, they stay in contact with them until they get ready to buy and set appointments and get them on board to buy, and then follow up with them after the sale. We got what we call now customer retention model. It's CRM and dealer socket. Everything goes in there now, and the salesmen have a guidebook to work from now, rather than just trying to write it down on a piece of scratch paper and keep up with it. They get on the computer every morning, and the computer tells them what to do, tell them who to call, and so it's just high-tech stuff. A lot of things have changed over the years, but some things haven't, and the main thing is people still want that personal attention, and he might beat you to death on price, but still he wants all the freebies. But we've got probably 75% of our business is repeat customers, and that's just from taking care of them and know we're going to be here. It's a lot of places to go, and if they deal with a salesman, we'll go back 2 weeks later and he's gone. And where we're here, we've got people that's been around, and they know that Cannon and Scott and all of us are going to be around. So technology is so much better now that they're doing a lot better job of building them. With computers and robots, your bodies fits a lot better. You don't have the water leak and dust leaks you used to have. They came with fuel injection 25 years ago, and the engines last a lot longer, and they're a lot better tires. The tires last 4 times as long. Used to, a tire wouldn't last 10,000 miles, and now I've seen them run 100,000 miles. Before fuel injection, engine 50, 60,000 miles is drinking oil and worn out a lot of times, but after fuel injection, the old carbureted engines, the gas would wash the oil off the pistons. They'd get to flooding and wash the oil off the piston, and that'd make it wear the engine out quicker. But fuel injection, electronic fuel injection, solved that problem. So that you got engines, gas engines now to run 300,000 miles. We trade for them all the time with 200,000 to 300,000 miles and still run good. So I thought 20 years ago that technology had peaked out, but it's just getting started. They talk about flying cars now, and cars that drive themselves, and with technology going the way it is, it might not even be car dealers 10 years from now, 15 years from now. It's Tesla Motors now, they don't have dealers, they're selling direct. So it's just, in Costco, they sold over 500,000 cars last year, selling them out of grocery stores and everything else. So it's hard to say what's going to happen, but you're still going to have service performers to service them, and when it gets right down to it, they still got to get them serviced, and that's the only thing that's going to keep the dealer alive is giving good service. Shannon's boy Tyler, my grandson, well, he started in high school working at the dealership, odds and ends, but this summer he worked over at the Ford place in Greenwood and really done a great job, and he really got excited about the business, and he's looking forward to being in it full time, and he wants to be in Greenwood when he gets out of school, so it'll work out just right for that. And Morgan's coming on, and he's been working some in the summertime, but he works on the ranch a lot. But he says he wants to be in the business, so we'll know when that time comes.
Tyler is a real strong people person, and he is just a great salesman, and he's got a lot of book sense. But now Mo is stern, and Mo's got a lot of common sense. Of course, he doesn't quite meet people as good as Tyler, but he does, when he warms up to them, he's good. But they can complement each other, and of course now we're at the size now where they don't have to work side by side. They'll just have a hand or a field that they have to take care of. He's 79. I hope I can work that long, because I want to work and see them prosper. And when you put your heart and life into something, you want to stay there and watch it grow.
I don't know who else will come along, whether Scott's got a boy coming on and 2 girls, and there's a lot of girls in the car business now, so they might get in it too, I don't know. Yeah, we're at the point now where they can handle it. If I go on and kick the bucket and get going, well, they can go. I feel comfortable that they go forward.